Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about YouTube Red for those of you who may have heard of the service but might not necessarily be familiar with what it is and what it means for content creators, and also a little opportunity to plug my Patreon account, which I don't really do all that often at all. So first of all, YouTube Red is a new service that YouTube are offering, which essentially started a few days ago. Now the idea with YouTube Red is you pay a subscription fee, which is currently $10 a month. It's currently only available in the US anyway, so $10 per month, or if you purchase it through the Apple Store, it's $13, because obviously Apple have to take their cut off the top. And basically what happens is, if you subscribe to YouTube Red and become a YouTube Red member, you no longer see any ads on YouTube. Now, I know a lot of you don't see them anyway because you use ad blockers, but this is basically a legitimate way to get rid of the ads from YouTube, but you're still supporting content creators because you're paying a monthly fee. Now, the way it works is that fee from all of the YouTube Red subscribers all goes into one big pool of money, and then it's divided between the content creators based on the percentage of time that YouTube Red subscribers have watched their videos. Now at this point, nobody really knows what impact that is going to have on the revenue that any channels makes. And personally, for a channel my size, it probably won't make all that much difference at all. I don't really make enough money from YouTube to really see it reflected. Bigger channels are probably going to notice more of a difference. Whether it's an increase in their revenue or a decrease in their revenue, I guess that is something that will be seen as time goes on. Now, YouTube Red doesn't only allow people to avoid the ads, it also gives them a few other benefits as well. So there are going to be some services that are specifically available to YouTube Red subscribers. So there will be some premium content on certain channels that have been invited and approved by Google. So there will essentially be certain premium videos that you can only watch if you are a YouTube Red subscriber. And part of that YouTube Red subscription money goes towards making that content. So it's quite similar in a way to services like Netflix, where some of the money that you pay goes towards making those Netflix exclusive series that you only get to see on Netflix. It's a similar sort of deal to that. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, like I've said, the service is starting this month, and currently it is only available to people in the US. Now, what Google are actually offering is a 1-month free trial of this service. One question that hasn't been answered, and it has been asked, there's quite a lot of networks and individuals that have approached Google and asked them this. When YouTube Red subscribers get their 1-month free trial, because they're not paying for anything, will there be any money paid to content creators? And YouTube haven't given a definitive answer on this yet. At the moment, it certainly seems like what's going to happen is that anyone who uses a 1-month free trial for YouTube Red isn't going to be seeing adverts, but they're not going to be paying any money either. Which essentially means that any content creators who rely on their ad revenue could essentially be working for free in November. And November is normally one of the better months for ad revenue. It's on the run up to Christmas. There are a lot of companies who have products that they wish to sell for Christmas time, so they pay more money for advertising because this is premium advertising time. A couple of months before Christmas, you want to advertise your product to as many people as possible. You don't want to leave it too late, too close to Christmas, because you want to make sure that you advertise your product before your potential customers have gone out and spent their money on a competitor's product. So it's a very, very important time where advertisers spend a lot of money. So ad revenue is normally fairly good around this time of year. So the fact that if there are any channels that rely on ad revenue from an American audience, and I'll be honest, even though I'm in the UK, the vast majority of views that I get on my channel are from the US. Second place is the UK, third place is Germany, but US views make up well over 50% of my audience. And many of the other YouTubers that I know, wherever they're based in the world, most of their audience comes from the US. So if every single one of their US audience gets a 1 month free trial of YouTube Red starting today, for example, that could potentially mean that for an entire month they're losing all of the ad revenue that came from their US viewers. So it's not going to have necessarily a long-term impact on channels, especially not the smaller ones, but I think the fact that if this is the way it's going to work and YouTube aren't going to be paying content creators for this 1 month free trial, that might really hurt some people in November. Now, I do YouTube more of a hobby than anything else. I've had ads enabled on my YouTube account for the last couple of years now, probably 2.5 years. I do make some money from YouTube, but it is very little. When you take into consideration things like having a decent quality mic, I've paid for editing software, I've paid for screen capture software, I've paid for copies of games. Now bear in mind, yes, I do get some games for free because I'm big enough now as a channel where I do actually get some keys offered to me, but there's still quite a lot of things that I have to pay for myself. Now admittedly that's not too bad because I am a gamer. Even if I wasn't making YouTube videos, I'd still be purchasing those games to play them anyway. But there are certainly some expansions and DLCs that I go out and get just so that I can make videos of them for the channel. Paying for repairs and upgrades to the PC to keep it working because, you know, PCs, there's always something going wrong. Making sure that I keep up-to-date editing software. It's definitely worth noting that in the 3 years I've been running my YouTube channel, I am out of pocket. Even with my ad revenue on, the amount of money that I make is infinitesimally small. I am running at a loss, and that's fine. I enjoy doing it. It is a hobby. But the main reason that I have the ads on is because that little bit of money that I get each month helps offset some of the costs. It kind of balances out and pays for itself at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, I'd love it if I was able to do YouTube on a more full-time basis, even if I could just make a little bit of extra revenue and use that money to do things such as pay an artist to do some artwork for the channel, to give it more of an identity and branding on the thumbnails and things like that. Maybe commission someone to do a custom piece of music and a little intro video that I could use, doing some end slates for me, all of the stuff that I'm not really very good at doing myself, that I'd love to be able to pay someone with talent to do, but simply cannot afford it at the way the channel runs. So about 6 months ago, I set up a Patreon account. And for those of you who don't know what Patreon is basically a service for artists. It's people who make music, who make videos, who write, who paint. It's just basically anyone involved in some kind of arts and production media. And it's a website that you can go to basically pledge donations to that artist. Now there's different ways of doing it. Some people have theirs set to a money per production kind of scheme. So for example, every time someone produces a video, say you pledge $1, it'd be $1 per video. So every time someone uploads a video, you end up paying $1. I don't have mine set up like that. I've got mine set up on a monthly thing. So the way my Patreon account is set up is someone can go to my Patreon, and if they choose to pledge a donation, it's per month, and you can pledge as little or as much as you'd like. And it doesn't have to be reoccurring. If you decided after 1 month you didn't want to pledge anything more and you wanted to cancel the support, that's possible. You can increase or reduce your support, that's possible as well. Now I've had this account for about 6 months. I've got 2 patrons that have been helping to support me right from the beginning, really, and I'm very grateful to those 2 people for sticking with me this long. But I don't really advertise my Patreon. It is mentioned in the description of my videos, and it is actually in the description of this video as well. It's just below the video. So what I would say is, if you watch a lot of my content and you do enjoy watching my content, if you think it is worth a little tiny bit of money, even if it's just once off, if you'd like to donate and help support the channel, by all means go and sort that out through Patreon. The reason I use Patreon, because I do actually have the YouTube tip jar enabled. The YouTube tip jar only works with Google Wallet, which is a little bit of a pain because not everybody likes to use that. And secondly, it's not available in all countries. Patreon works basically worldwide, and it's a much better platform for that sort of support. And there's quite a lot of YouTubers now that are actually using Patreon accounts. Now, I'm never going to put any of my videos behind a paywall. First of all, most game companies that allow you to use the footage of their games in videos allows you to put them on platforms where you can monetize them with ads, such as YouTube, but specifically states you're not allowed to put them behind a paywall. So you're never going to see videos on my channel that say you can only watch this if you subscribe or pay me money. Not going to happen. All of my videos will always be free for people to watch. Now, I know there's a lot of people that use ad blockers, some for legitimate reasons, because sometimes you have a limit to your bandwidth and you don't want ads taking up that bandwidth when you're watching videos and things like that. I understand. Some people just block the ads because they just find them annoying and intrusive. But, you know, do bear in mind that a lot of content creators do rely on the revenue from those ads to make their money. But the reason I mentioned Patreon is the amount of money that you get from an ad on YouTube is very, very small. In fact, even though the amount of views that I get on my videos has pretty much doubled in the last couple of years on a monthly basis, the amount of money I make is more than halved. So this is mainly because the value of commercials, value of the ads has gone down and down. We have to get more and more views just to make the same amount of money. The thing is, if one subscriber pledged to me £1 just once off, it doesn't have to be a monthly thing, if a subscriber pledged just a single pound, which is about, I don't know, $1.30, something like that, that would probably be more money than I would earn from all the ad revenue if that person watched every single video on my channel, which is about 1,200 at the moment. So as you can see, the amount of money each individual ad view is worth is tiny. And if a few people are using AdBlock, it's not going to make much of a difference, because losing 0.0001 of a cent isn't really going to hurt. But of course, when 80% of your viewers are using AdBlock, then you really do notice a big impact on the ad revenue. Now, one thing I don't have on my Patreon at the moment is I don't actually have any rewards set up, mainly because I was a bit dubious and a bit skeptical about using the service at first, and I've always felt bad about promoting it, which is why, apart from the one video when I first created the account, everything else has literally just been sort of hidden away in the video description, and I've never really made a call to action for it. I've never really sort of pushed it to people and said, look, here I have a patron, because I've never really liked asking for money, and that hasn't changed. But I do want to just make it known that the Patreon is there. So if there's any of you that enjoy watching my content and you would like to help support me, by all means, it is really, really appreciated. But again, only if you can absolutely afford it. If you don't have any disposable income and you can't afford to support me, then don't support me. If you only watch my stuff occasionally, or you just generally don't find my stuff enjoyable enough and don't think it's worth any sort of support or donation, I completely understand. I'm never going to stop people from watching my content if I don't get any sort of support from them. But just remember that every little bit of support that I do get will help the channel grow. It will help me keep my software up to date, keep my hardware running, and hopefully securing some of the new titles so that I can cover them for future playthroughs, reviews, previews, and stuff like that. Now, it's worth bearing in mind, as I just said, I've got no rewards offered on the Patreon account at the moment, and that's mainly because I really didn't expect to get any patrons at all. I said I only have 2, but that's 2 more than I expected I would get. But if any of you would like to support me on Patreon, and you have any ideas for some sort of rewards that you'd like to see, by all means, shoot ideas at me and we'll see what we can come up with. I know there's quite a few channels that do things like weekly or monthly streams with their patrons. They'll do multiplayer games where their patrons can come and join them and play along with them and things like that. But, I sort of do this for my viewers, so I want to know what sort of things you would be interested in. So, thanks a lot for listening, guys. The link to the Patreon will be in the description below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye for now.